what's up? How's it going? Welcome to my weekly energy report. And before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I know it took a little bit of a lengthy break in doing these, and I just personally needed some space. I needed some space in order to really tap into what's going on for me versus what I'm sharing for the collective, because I'm in a slightly different space than what the greater collective is experiencing. And when I go through a very large upgrade, sometimes it's an unknown amount of time in order for me to integrate. I made the decision to come back and do an energy report and see. I may come back next week. I also may not. I don't mean to be so vague, but I just don't know exactly where we are right now, or where the information for me and the information for you intersect so that I can elaborate on. So today is the 27th. It is a Sunday. This is a 1 week report, and we are moving fairly quickly into what would be known as harvest moon, so a full moon time. Now, we're already in a pretty significant shift. Have been for a fairly long time, and I know some people are just now coming into awareness of it. Fine, welcome. Happy to have you. Welcome to your awakening. But what's happening for the collective is a lot of work right now. Doesn't matter what aspect, where you look, there is something to be done. Often people are arguing. There's a lot of push and pull, and I'm not really feeling a lot of outward care, although it may actually be spoken about. So that's a good thing, because there's a little bit in there coming out. We're in a very constructive phase. There's a lot of renewing strength that we need to be paying attention to, and because of everything else that's going on, this may not be so easy to do. It has a lot to do with how you look at your self-care and well-being, whether you are focusing on fitness as far as what you eat and how you look, or how you feel on the inside versus how you feel when you talk to other people. These may be different things, and through all the work that we're going through, that's redundant. Via the work that we're going through right now as a collective, you as an individual are given the energy to tap into that. And I'm not saying that it's an easy tap in. I'm saying that it exists if you can find it, because we're coming into what's known as harvest moon. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because harvest, think about that. What do people do to harvest? There's a lot of work, right? Assessing, right? Picking, cutting, saving, maybe considering what is waste. Harvest. This is for keeping what is going to nourish you going forward, and not judging the things that you choose. So, you know those times where you see vegetables that don't look that great, because they don't fit the status quo? Well, you want those vegetables right now. Those are those weird oddities that you're starting to bring into your life that may be extremely familiar, maybe from your childhood, maybe from your ancestry, something like that. Things are shifting, and you might have some things illuminated that you were not expecting. Now, I don't like to use the word expectation too often. And what I mean here is it might just be something that is, how do you say, so obvious you miss it. Yeah. For me, it's been a little bit like that. I've been spending a few weeks paying attention to that prior to what's now happening for the collective. And it's quite illuminating. It's quite illuminating what you can find in that time if you give yourself the chance to do it. Now, then there's the big prismatic day. So we're in this work phase. And then there is the full moon, where everything is illuminated, inward and outward. I know that people tend to focus on outward in the full moon, and I totally understand, because it is usually how it's noticed. But for this one, it is not so much outward because you are starting to collect what it is that you're moving into the new earth category with. Category, that's a weird way to put it, but if you're new to this shift, that's basically what you're doing. You could think of it in this way. It's fairly fantastical the way I'm about to put it, but just bear with me. Imagine you were creating the most perfect life and you knew that some things going forward were going to look very different. And right now you're seeing things around you. Oh, I don't really know why I like that. Oh, I remember liking that. And you're starting to collect these tools. Just be sure that these tools are something that you want to actually use and not just collect, because that's the big shift that's happening now. You want to be able to work with the tools that you're collecting, with the energies that you're bringing on, with the thoughts that you're taking forward, and not just collect tools. Okay. So where did the fantasy go, Farron? I don't know. I thought I was going to fairy realms or something, and I just didn't. So that's just the way it is. So from the full moon, we move right into introspection. And I know I look down at my notes. It's just going to happen sometimes. Introspection after such a prismatic period with so much extra going on might not be so comfortable, let's say. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it. That's what's coming in. If I am able to provide a little bit more insight next week, I will do my best, because we'll just be starting that phase, and the amount of energy that's circulating right now that is affecting the collective is pretty confusing, I'm assuming, which isn't a bad thing. Confusion is the space of expansion. If you haven't heard me say that before, there you go. If you're confused, allow yourself to be confused. Don't judge it. And also timing. Time is a big deal right now. And for some of us, we have lost track of the basic time. And we're moving from a space where it is time to get up, this is what we do, and you just kind of start going. And this is, if you're in that phase of your shift, I have to tell you from personal experience, it's not easy, because nobody else around you is going to be going through it at the same time as you, which is a little bit ironic. So what we have been discussing is how do we integrate that and still, interact in a basic daily fashion. And it's the non-judgment thing, and it was also one of those things where when you are feeling like you've lost time, don't try and fix it, and probably don't tell your friends about it. They're gonna get a little confused. For now, pay attention to what is most illuminating for you and what the work is that you need to do in order to nourish that. Not fix it, not change it, not assess it, just nourish. And in that, if you're not sure what your work is, it will come out. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great week. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Bye.